I can remember the moment that I became a man, and I'd just like to share that with you. It's an easy story, right? We've all got the same start. I was an idiot kid who cared about very little else, but as long as I was having a laugh, it didn't matter if that was a laugh at the expense of me or at the expense of someone else. I've always been the class clown, so I didn't mind, taking a joke or two, but I'd give it out as much as I would take it, and it never crossed my mind. And that was true in every aspect of my life. I never considered other people's feelings because it was just funny to me watching people react sometimes when you're an idiot kid. And obviously, there's a lot of haunting memories now that I've grown a conscience. And one day, I was walking down the road, and I can't remember, where I was going, what I was going to do, who I was going to meet. I just remember I was walking down this road, and the day before, me and the boys had been taking a bit of a magic mushroom binge, drinking, and on it's a long walk home. I lived in the suburbs. They generally lived around town, so on that long walk home, I'd been stumbling around, and just it had given me, especially the shrooms, had given me a lot of like time to think. And when I'd woken up this next day, as I was walking down the road, clearing my head, obviously I still had some of those lingering thoughts, and it suddenly dawned on me that my sister, my little sister, would one day grow up to be a woman, and that she looked at me as a role model of what a man is. And in that moment, I understood the responsibility that I had to my younger siblings. I've got a younger brother and a younger sister. And as I've mentioned before, up until that point, and even to this day, I've always been the explorer. I have to go and find out why people tell us not to do these things so that I can come back and report to them like, yeah, they mean it. Don't do that one, Or actually, don't let them know, but you can get away with that one and it's quite fun. That kind of thing. But in that moment, I became a man, and I understood that my responsibilities were not just to inform my brother and sister to make them better prepared for the future, but to actually protect them myself, and also to set a good example. And ever since that moment, I never did anything that you could consider womanizing ever again. I would go out of my way to be very delicate and gentle with women, which has cost me a lot of relationships because women don't really like that. But the point to me was that men like that existed, and it was important for me to show my sister that men like that existed, and it was important for me to show my brother that you could be a man like that. You didn't, just because nobody else is watching you, just because we don't believe in God and there's nobody else in the room, does not mean that you can't make the choice that is better for other people. People will look at you stunned if you ever make a decision that hurts you, like hurts your own, benefits. I walked into a job interview one time. There was only so many jobs going, and there was more people than there were jobs. It was called Choopy, where you go from one company to another. And I believe there was 43 of us, and there was 41 jobs. And I walked into that interview, which was for a lot of money. If I'd got that job, just a bonus straight up, like you get like a lump sum on top, would have been enough for me to buy a boat, right? I was literally boat shopping, like at work. That's what I'd do. I'd go in, sit down at my desk, and look at the boats that I'd be able to afford if I got this like promotion slash contract upgrade. It's not really a promotion. It's just the next contract. But when I walked into that interview, regardless of the amount of money it would have given me and how successful it would have made me, I walked in and I said, look, I would feel awful if I got this job. I'm the youngest in the office, therefore I've got the least experience in this field of work, and every other single person that I work with has a family, a car, a mortgage, and I don't have any of those things. I have zero responsibilities. I'm responsible for only myself. I live in a rented accommodation. I can go back and live with my parents if I need to, you know what I mean? In the worst case scenario, I've got my family around and they've still got extra bedrooms. So under no circumstances should you give this job to me. And that's what I went. That was the attitude that I've carried ever since that moment, because I understand my responsibilities don't just accommodate my brother and my sister and my close family. That branches out. It's my responsibility not just to protect me and not just to protect my close family, but also to protect my friends and my society and my country and my planet, in that order. In that order. But fuck myself. I take myself off the top and stick myself on the bottom, because at the end of the day, I know what I can handle, right? I can get very, very low. I can survive off very, very little, and I can take an awful lot of heartache and pain, a lot more than a lot of other people can take. So as much as, yes, I should prioritize myself above all else, I don't have to, unless I'm at the bottom. Do you know what I mean? Unless I really know and feel that I can't take any more. So really, my top is my brother and sister, and then my close family, my extended family, my friends, the society that I live in, the country that I live in, and then the rest of you guys. And that was the moment that, you know, I became a man. And the reason that I wanted to share this with you today was because Matt Walsh, who probably was born with a beard, mentioned today that he's always been a man. Or he mentioned it a while back, sorry. He mentioned it 2 years ago. Sorry, I apologise. The clip came up for me, and I've been watching this clip. And he said he's always been a man. And that's fair enough. He probably was born with a beard. But for me, I was born an idiot kid. And that doesn't mean that you can't become a man. You can definitely become a man. But I think it might be different from what you might have been led to believe. So share your story with me of the moment that you became a man, if you can remember it. And maybe your story is a lot more dramatic than mine. I've definitely had some manly dramatic stories that I could share, but I just wanted to share the moment that I became a man. And it was literally just walking down the street thinking about my responsibilities and who I wanted to be in the future, what kind of a role I wanted to represent, you know, the role model that I wanted to be for everybody else around me. And honestly, I couldn't give two fucks what people think of me, because actions speak louder than words, right? So if you want to judge me by my words, all I'm going to do is laugh at you. And that's that's the model that I set, right? That you should laugh at people that just shout you down with words. Actions speak a lot louder. And if you're going to judge me on my words, even though you've never seen my actions, well, you're getting less than half the story. You really are. And it's funny to me. So keep doing that if that's what you want to do, and share your stories of when you became a man with me. Nice to see you guys. Love you. Peace.